Oh my, that game just sucked. Like, oh, 4 games in, I started the season not knowing what to expect. Little optimistic, I'm not gonna lie. I had no expectations, but I was optimistic. I liked the way the forward core looked. You know what? I thought let's see what happens. 4 games in, I am not liking what I'm seeing, and I am not panicking just yet, because what's the point of panicking? But it's more just shaking my head, because what exactly are we witnessing right now, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to another video here on Pixie Hockey Recap Reactions for Game 4 out of 82. Yeah, we've got a long way to go. Let's get into this. Jets lose 5-3 to the Vegas Golden Knights in the rubber match game. I'm not even gonna call it, but this was supposed to be that big game. You know, this is the big ticket game. The rematch since being eliminated in the playoffs. Oh, the Jets gonna show up. Is this gonna be, hey, you know, we're here, we're gonna be a threat this year? No. It looked exactly how they did, honestly, in most of the games last year. Tonight just sucked. Again, like what? Okay, you know what? Let's jump into this. I was gonna lead into this, but let's just start off with this. This is the plus and negative, the best players analytically for tonight's game. I made a point going into this game that I saw that Mason Appleton was going to be the first line winger. I knew that that was the wrong choice. Okay? Anyone that watches this team and knows anything about this team knew that that was the wrong choice. Look how bad Mason Appleton was for tonight. Now again, I'm not. This is lost. There's nothing to do with Mason Appleton. What this comes down to is just the structure we're already seeing with the Jets and what this type of team is going to be with the coaching staff and everything. In a certain situation, in a big game like this, your call-up to the top line is Mason Appleton. Now again, would have Kapari been a better fit? I'm not sure. He'll definitely get the look next game, but at the end of the day, it just doesn't work. This team doesn't work, and we've seen it time and time again when you need to call upon guys in big-ticket opportunities. Look at last year with the scoring depth and how little it was and how long those goalless streaks went for. It just... I pause a lot, not because I don't know what to say, but because I've already said it 1,000 times in almost every single video that I've done covering a Jets game, and I believe this is my 4th year doing this. Like, I've always watched every game, but 4 years of talking to you guys after the games and sharing my thoughts, and every single time it's almost the exact same thing, but a different variation of it. And again, there were really good moments tonight. Alex Iafallo, yes, absolutely. Ehlers, great. Nemestikov, honestly, played okay at times, even though he had a couple giveaways that I wasn't happy with, but... you know, I'm not going to complain. I thought that Sandberg was great tonight. Like the chart says, the top guys out there are the guys that you expect to see have good games at the end of the day. And I don't know. This team just doesn't, it's not doing it for me. This is the plainest way to put it. I was excited about this team, and I think the offense still has a lot of promise. I do, especially when Velarde gets back. I think that this team offensively isn't necessarily a problem. And that's what's frustrating, is that a game like this, the Jets probably could have won if it wasn't for the terrible defensive play from Brendan Dillon. Got, you know, inconsistencies you get from Logan Stanley. Logan Stanley was just a ghost out there for most of the time. Neil Pionk is terrible. Like, just... we've seen all this before. We know that these guys have their weaknesses. We're seeing their weaknesses get taken advantage of. This is nothing new. But why I'm so angry is just because I look at the attendance tonight, and it improved by, like, I believe 250 or 300 fans. It went up tonight in attendance. It's about 11.5, I think it was. 11,500 capacity, roughly, with change. And it just makes me mad. And we're going to have a video dropping very, very soon. I wanted to wait until after this game because I want to see kind of what the attendance was like. I'm probably going to put it together. I saw the tweet thread out there. You guys can go comment on it again. And let me know now as well on what you think is going wrong with the Jets right now when it comes to the, you know, the sales and all the empty seats. Let me know your thoughts down. Whatever it is. And if the best stuff gets going to get featured in the video that I'm doing on it, because it's scary. And that's why I'm so angry about this loss, is because you're losing at home to fans that aren't showing up, as it already is, and the ones that are there are paying extreme ticket price in an economy where they cannot afford to do so. And these people, maybe they can because obviously they're maybe lucky enough to, but a lot of people can. That's why we're seeing this. And in this, with all that going on, this is the Jets that you get. This is the message that you get from, you know, everything going on with the organization. You're getting this, okay, we're going to win. Here's Scheifele. Here's Hellebuck. You know, we have this Dubois trade. All these different, you know, narratives going into the offseason and throughout the offseason, and where we are now, it's just like, really? Everything just felt like it was building up to finally some direction. And again, right now, I feel like we are a ship about to capsize. Like, it is ridiculous. This team tonight's loss, it's whatever. You know, yeah, it was frustrating defensively. I'm not even going to really get into it because there were elements that pissed me off. The refereeing was fucking terrible tonight. Pardon the F-bomb, but it was well-deserved F-bomb because that's how bad the refereeing was. But at the same time, it's like, we're going to see a lot of losses like this, and that's what makes me angry. I know not to judge a team so early on, and I've been trying not to do this. If you've watched any of the recaps so far for this season, I've been adamant that I'm not trying to, you know, everything's... But it just feels that way already. You know, like, even with Velarde right now, the way the defense is, my God, I wish I can't believe Villanola got hurt. That might have been enough blood, something down there to change a bit of how things get shaken up, but right now, Nate Schmidt needs to go, and he is gone right now, but even then, the replacements are subpar. Logan Stanley, Kyle Capobianco, okay, I'm not going to rip Capobianco too much, he's not bad as an extra defenseman, but Logan Stanley, come on, he's lucky to be in the NHL, and that's being real. The guy is so minimalistic in every area of his game, including his size, and I know you all love his size, and that's all you preach, but even then, how often does he really use his size to his advantage? Be real, like, come on. Like, at the end of the day, this team, this loss, the reason why I'm so ticked, one is because it's, again, Dubois game, empty crowd, that's his return game, it should have been a way better atmosphere, fans aren't showing up, no, the coaching staff doesn't care. What do they do the next game? They start Mason Appleton. He's the worst player analytically on the first line. It's just insanity that we've all seen before. To quote Voss, like, oh, we're going back in the vault, but you know, have you heard of the definition of insanity? Do you know what the definition of insanity is? It's doing the exact same thing over and over again, and expecting it to change. All the Jets are doing is changing out the names, and I'm getting way too angry right now. I know that, but I had to get that little bit out because my God, this team frustrated me tonight, and I bet it frustrated a lot of you too. Because how could it not? If you're a real fan of this team and you want to see them actually compete like management says they want to, and you have losses like this where the defense and the team just looks incomplete. It looks like it's got weaknesses. It's being taken advantage of by the reigning cup champions right now. Okay? And again, it's just... I don't know. I don't see this team. I see these weaknesses. I've seen these weaknesses time and time again. They're not going to improve with players getting older. These are guys that are on contracts that they shouldn't. It's just all of this tonight is what we're going to see going forward. The Jets have weaknesses, and at this point in time, they've had the exact same fucking weaknesses for so long that regardless of what coach is behind the bench, regardless of, you know, what GM is even there, as long as these players are on the ice and they are playing their hockey that they play at the NHL level, nothing to do with the systems, just them being NHL players, they have weaknesses. They're getting older. Nate Schmidt on his offside, it goes on and on. I know Nate Schmidt didn't play tonight. I keep pulling on Nate Schmidt. But he's been the worst defenseman this year, so he's the first one that pops to mind. But even then, it's just frustrating as all hell. Like, we know that these types of games are gonna happen, right? We know that we're gonna have bad losses with refereeing, blah 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 blah. But it's the individual effort, the team effort, all of it combined, where it's like, we've seen this before, because it's the exact same fucking team we've seen time and time again iced out there, and it's not doing it anymore. The fans aren't showing up. It's pretty freaking sad, okay? Like, it's already bad enough that the Jets have the small stadium, and people sometimes complain about the blah, 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 and all that because it's still lower than the average other NHL capacities. But when it's at 11,000, you get into the arguments of people talking about moving your team, and I'm not going there. The Jets aren't moving. They have the richest owner in all of Canada that owns them, okay? And True North owns everything within, like, 10 blocks of the arena. I doubt they're going to be filing bankruptcy and bleeding money after two home games, or 3 home games, or whatever it's been, of this bad attendance. I doubt that's, you know, going to be the case. But that being said, it's still not a good storyline to have floating around your team when you're trying to compete. Do you get the message I'm trying to send? Management tells you one thing, the fans are saying the complete opposite, and the team is performing the exact way the fans expected it to. That's why I'm so frustrated. Tonight's loss doesn't mean shit to me in the standings, blah, 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 the race, oh, we lost to Vegas. It's the effort, it's what the team is, it's what we're starting to see, the identity from last year and all this other stuff. This is not good enough to win anything meaningful. Maybe the Jets can have a successful season and get to the wild card. If all you care about is making the playoffs and going to the whiteout for 2 home games, maybe 3 if you're lucky, then yay, congratulations, have a wonderful time. I know I love the whiteout. I went last year for the first time and it was great. But that being said, I don't want to go to Winnipeg every year for the playoffs to watch them get eliminated in the first round, and I get that none of you do either. So at some point, everything's got to change, because tonight's loss is an exact representation of what this team potentially could be going forward, because we've already seen it. I'm not going to say write the season off, okay? I'm not going to do that just yet. But this game, the game last time, even yesterday's game, we've seen all of this stuff before, all the problems, we've seen it all before. It's not changing anytime soon because this team hasn't changed at all. Vegas just played the exact same game they played last year in the playoffs, and then this was an improved Jets team, and Vegas still knocked us out when it came down to it. So say what you want about the penalties. At the end of the day, I'm still mad about this game and the way that they played. I was not happy with the defensive performance. I know it's early, but we've seen all that shit before. We've heard Bonus say the exact same comments before, and yet he still starts Mason Appleton on the first line. So you tell me what your thoughts are down in the comment section below. As always, I am going to go and make some dinner, a late dinner for me, but I don't care. Enjoy the rest of your day. Go Jets, go. And please wake the fuck up!
It'll all be over.